Okay, hello guys. It's me, PrinceDynamic again. So we're going straight into the topic that's introduction to the basic tools of Photoshop. So in this lesson, I'm going to be explaining some of the tools. I'm going to be showing you some of the basic tools. Like I said, basic tools. Take note of that. Basic tools that you need to know when you're designing your social media posts or your social media design. So I'm going to be showing you the tools and what they are used for. Then, okay, let's just jump into the lesson. So first, you come to your file. Once you open your Photoshop, come to your file, then click on New. Okay, someone was asking me, can I use a lower version of Photoshop? Sure, you can use a lower version of Photoshop. They are all the same. They are all the same principle. It's still the same way you design on Photoshop CC. It's the same way you design on CS6 or CS version. But I'm currently using Photoshop CC, and I strongly recommend any CC version to any one of you who intend to download the software to work with this. So I'm using Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop CC 2019. So without any further ado, let's go straight into the class. This is a blank workspace now. So I'm going to show you the basic tools, that's these tools that are here and what they are used for. Then in the next class, we'll be going into details of what they are actually used for and how to use them. So this is the first tool. Once you place your cursor over the tool, you see a video showing what it is used for. It is called the move tool. The move tool. It is used for moving objects and moving text, moving anything that is on your workspace, and the short key is V. So once you hit the key V on your keyboard, it automatically triggers this tool. So the next one is your marquee tool. Your marquee tool. It makes selection in the shape of rectangle. It's just for making selection. Yeah, it's just for making selection in rectangle shape. As you can see, if you're using CC 2019, you'll see these videos. You can see it's already describing how it works for you. So the next one I'm going to show you is your lasso tool. Your lasso tool is for making freehand selections. It's for making freehand selections. So you can basically use it to select anything. I'm going to show you a sample. Let me import, sorry about that. Let me import an image. Let me bring in an image. Let me, sorry, let me bring in an image for you to see. So you can see what it is used for basically. Okay, let me bring in this photo. So this is how your marquee tool works. Your lasso tool. Lasso tool is for freehand selection. You can see I am selecting. I am selecting. Don't mind my selections. It is not correct. I am using it to select. Okay, I want to select this part of my head. You can see I have just made a selection. I can say, okay, I want to select a body, and okay, that is just what the lasso tool does. And there are also other tools present in the lasso tool option too. So I'm going to show you the next tool, but that's also in the lasso tool. We have the polygonal lasso tool. It's also for selection, but this one is not a freehand selection. It's not a freehand selection. You can see the way it works. It's not a freehand selection, but it's also for making selections too. So I move to the next tool. This we call a magic wand. Magic wand is a very powerful tool, and let me tell you, I make use of magic wand almost in all my design. Like I don't think there was ever a time I designed without using lasso tool. Lasso tool sorry, the quick selection magic wand tool. So the magic wand tool, which is W, once you hit W, okay, let me go back here. Once you hit W, it comes to the magic wand tool. You can see that. So the magic wand tool is for selections, and I'm going to show you how it works. It selects similarly colored image areas. Yeah, it works with colors actually. Like this part now is going to select the whole brown part of it. You see, as I clicked, it selected the whole brown part. So that is how it works. Let me bring in another image for you to see so you can understand exactly what I am saying. Let me bring in my image. Okay, this is a picture of me. This is a picture of me. So I'm going to show you how the magic wand works. Sorry. Let me show you how the magic wand. So W to select. So you can see it has just made a selection. It has made a selection. It will have actually selected everything. You see, I can now delete that part. You see, That is how the magic wand to work. You see that it is far better than most softwares that you know out there. You see why Photoshop is far better than most software that you know out there. So it's just for selection. If I was actually on a plain background, it will have selected everything at once. So that is that for the magic wand tool. I'm going to delete this image now. Then I move to the next one, your crop tool. Crop tool is just for cropping. You all know how crop tool works, so I don't need to start explaining that. And this is your frame tool, but you don't need the frame tool. You don't need the frame tool for now. But okay, let me explain what it does. Let me explain what the frame tool does. The frame tool is just for, like, as I drew this now, I can bring in an image and place it inside this frame that I just drew. So that is just the function of the frame tool. Actually, I didn't use the frame tool, but you can use it to make your own work easier for you. So let me delete this. I move to the next one, eyedropper. You don't need this eyedropper tool, but the eyedropper tool is actually for selecting colors. Let me show you a sample. The eyedropper tool is for selecting colors. That's if you need to copy a color. Maybe you need to pick this yellow, for instance, now, and you can't get the color. You just come to the eyedropper tool, then you sample. We call it sampling. Once you sample, you'll find the color here. It will automatically change this foreground color to the color of to whatever color you selected. Okay, let's select white. You see it has changed it here. If I'm selecting my skin color, it's going to change it to my skin color here. If I'm selecting a spec black, it's going to change it to black here. So that is just how the color selection works. It will help you pick colors, just like it is called color selection, eyedropper tool. So the next thing I want to show you now is the patch tool. The patch tool is a very, very, very important tool. It's a very, very important tool. So the patch tool now, this is how the patch tool works. Sorry, let me select the patch tool. I can use it to patch any part. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Look at this YouTube logo now. YouTube logo. I will just make a selection with the patch tool. Then I'm going to move. Okay, always ensure. Okay, there's something I forgot to inform you. Always ensure that once you import an image, you come to this layer panel. This is the layer panel. The whole of this place is called the layer panel. You come there, you right click, then you rasterize the layer. Once you rasterize the layer, you are making it flat. You are making it flat. So therefore, you can make any editing you want to make. Actually, if it was a smart object like the way it was before, you might not be able to make these selections that I'm doing. So imagine now I'm moving this and I'm patching it with this. Can you see what just happened there? It has just patched. That is how the patch tool works. So let's assume I am picking my forehead and I'm selecting this part. It's supposed to work, but it actually works with color actually. So don't worry, when we dive in, when we go deeper into the class, you get to understand these tools and what they are used for. So the next tool is the brush tool. You all know what brush tool does. I don't think I need to explain what the brush tool does. So let me select the color. Let's assume we are selecting yellow. The brush tool is actually for painting. It's for painting. You can see I've just painted this image with the brush tool. That is just the function of the brush tool. So I'm moving to the next one, clone stamp. You actually don't need that for now. These are just the basic tools that you need. You need the move tool, the marquee tool, the lasso tool. You need your magic wand tool. Okay, there's also another powerful tool that I need to explain here in the magic wand. There are two tools there actually. You have the quick selection tool and you have the magic wand tool. Like I said, the magic wand tool works with color, while the quick selection tool now works with selecting, finding edges. Like it works with edges on the image. Let me show you a sample. Look at this now. You can see it's actually selecting my image. That is how it works. It works with edges. So I can use it to select my image. For those of you that have always been looking for a way to cut out your image and change your background, this is the best tool for you. Now I have selected my image. If I want to bring this image out, I can just click on, I can just come to this, I can just click on Ctrl J. I have selected, then I can hide this part. You see I have made a selection of my image. I can move this image and use it for whatever I want to use it for. So that is how the magic wand tool and the quick selection tool works. So I'm moving to the next. Let me undo that. Like I said, the tools that you need are your move tool. You need your marquee tool. You need your lasso tool. You need your quick selection or magic wand tool. You need your crop tool. You can use your framing tool if you want to. Your eyedropper tool for selecting colors. Your patch tool for patching images. Your brush tool for brushing with colors and the likes. Then your eraser tool to erase. Your bucket fill. Yeah, bucket fill. I use this tool a lot. The bucket fill, I actually use it to fill my image. Let me delete this since I have made a selection. I can just fill it with yellow. You can see what I just did. That's what the bucket fill tool does. Let me select another color. You can see how it works. That is exactly how the bucket fill tool works. So the next one is blur. Now this blur, now let me explain this blur tool to you. Look at, after I made my selection, it looks sharp, like it had sharp edges. So for you to remove those sharp edges, I use my blur tool most of the time. I'll just ensure I select the image like I just did here. I just selected the image, then I'll start blurring it. You can increase the strength of your image, of your blur. Mine is actually at 50, so I just start blurring the edges. You can see the edges. It's just more like I am feathering it, so it will not have any sharp edge anymore. That is just basically what the blur tool does. So for this now, I'm going to leave this is for those that work with images, especially photographers. Then the another important tool you need to know is the pen tool. Pen tool can be used for anything, but basically I use it for selection. Anytime I'm doing a very hard selection, maybe I have tried the magic wand and the magic wand can't do it perfectly for me, or I have used the quick selection tool, I just use my pen tool. I trace out the image. I trace out whatever I want to trace out, like this. Let's assume I want to pick this part, so I just trace it out. Then I'll right click and choose make selection. It will automatically make selection for you. You can see I've just selected that, so I can cut that image, I can cut that part out. Do you understand? I guess you can see what I just did. So for those of you that will be into manipulation, or those of you that would love to cut out images, this pick tool and this pen tool will be very, very important and essential for you. So I move to another tool, that's the text tool. This is a tool that I would say you can never, never, ever neglect in your designs, because there's no way you will type without the type tool. So the type tool, once you've selected the type tool, you just click, then you can name it, you can write whatever you want to write. PrinceDynamic. Okay, you might want to ask me that why are this stuff spaced? It is spaced because there's actually a panel whereby you can adjust the text to whatever you've typed, and it is always here. This A icon, character, it is called character. So I can just click and highlight. Then I'll come to this place, this VA. It is what adds space. I can use it to add space between the text, and I can also use it to reduce the spaces between the text. You can just play around with these two so you understand what they do. Let's say I say Prince Dynamic graphics. You can see that the distance is too much. So this A over A2 now is just for you to move the space between each text. But this one is between each letter. So this one is between each text. Yeah, I think that is what you need to know. You can check out other features here. You understand better. So that is that for the text tool. The text is very essential. It's not a tool that you can neglect in your designs. So I move to the ellipse tool. The ellipse tool is for drawing circles. Use it to draw circles. Yeah, there are also other things there too, like the rounded rectangle tool. You can use it to draw as many as possible, in each shape you want to draw. You can use this to draw it. So like I said, this is just an introduction class. That's I'm introducing you to the tools for designing, and at the end of each class you should try out stuff yourself so that you can get better, because there's no point learning all these things if you don't practice them. There's no point learning it. So this is the hand tool. Hand tool is just for moving for moving things, but I don't think you'll be needing it. Like I don't need it. And you, this is the last one I'll be showing you is your zoom tool. Your zoom tool is for zooming in and zooming out, zooming in and zooming out. That is all that you need to know for the basic tools. So now I move to this part. I know some of you have been looking at the colors part. That okay, what actually is happening here? This is the color. This is where you tend to pick color. This is your foreground color, so you can select whatever color you want. There are some of you that find designs online and you will hear something like color codes. So this part here is where you type in your color codes. This part here, I can, like my brand color, I use yellow. I use golden yellow. So the color code for the golden yellow is FFCC00. You can see what I just did. I just got the color. That is what I just selected, golden yellow color. So you can work with color codes, and that is all for the basic tools that you need to know. In the next class, we'll be discussing further. And okay, in the next class, I'm going to be taking you on a very important topic. That is, we're going into the proper design now. I'm going to be teaching you the social media page or post sizes, like when you are making your social media designs, the sizes that you should use, because some of us actually make this mistake. You notice that there are some times that you post your picture and some things are already cut off from the picture. That's because you didn't set it to the right, you didn't give it the right size. So in the next class we'll be discussing that. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and do well to practice all that I have taught you.